Yeah, I was pretty honest and direct message after the game. It was clearly not the performance that we were wanting or our fans were wanting. We felt that our decision making and our execution out in the middle, particularly with the bat, was a long way off what we were hoping for. And that review process will continue today. We'll get down and sit down with the smaller groups today and just go through to make sure that we're all clear and on the same page about how we're trying to go about our cricket and making sure that we're heading in the right direction and making sure we're able to turn this around.
A really positive start in the run chase as well. I think you guys were about 0 for 35 after 3 overs, and then obviously the wickets started tumbling. What did you make of the way the dismissals came about, the way the guys went out? What did you make of the shot selection? I guess the decisions that were made there.
Yeah, again, we started really nicely. I thought Jason Roy showed some great signs in his first game. Josh Inglis played some really nice cricket shots as well. And then to lose 3 wickets in consecutive overs took all the wind out of our sails. And it's an absolute no-no in T20 cricket to keep losing consecutive wickets and then having to rebuild. And for an experienced group, the decision-making around that was poor, and we need to be better than that. So, to go from none for 34, I think it was, after 3 overs to be all out for 90 and get bowled out again the second time in 4 games is not good enough from this group.
Given the start to the season, and I guess the really high expectations on the side coming into this season, are you feeling pressure in your role as coach at the moment?
I think there's always pressure in any form of high-level sport. I think it always sits there, whether you're a player, whether you're a coach. That's part of the business that we're in. Probably gets amplified a little bit when we have results like we did last night. But that's our job, is to make sure we get the players up and make sure we find ways and problem solve and help them bounce back for the next game. So in answer to your question, the pressure's always there. It never goes away. And we've got to be able to deal with that.
Thanks, Adam.
Thanks, Josh. Chatters, over to you.
Yeah, good day, V. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Perfect. Well, you guys, you've got so much talent in that batting lineup. What's your gut feel in terms of why it's not working at the moment?
Our message to the playing group has just been about playing team first cricket. And I think we went away from that last night. I think some of the decision making, the shot selection for the situation of the game just didn't match up. And for an experienced group, we certainly hope for better than that. And that'll be part of our discussions this afternoon as well. You're right, it's a talented group. There's no doubt about that, but we need them to be doing the job out on the field as well. And we'll certainly be working and making sure we do everything we can to bounce back on New Year's Eve.
And in T20 cricket, confidence is just so crucial. How do you go about trying to get that back for the lads? Because obviously once you go in a bit of a rut, it can be hard to get out of it sometimes.
It can be. It can also turn around very quickly as well. That's the nature of T20 cricket. The mood in the group is still a positive one. We know that we need to sharpen up in some areas, particularly with the bat after last night's performance. So, but we've got 9 internationals in the 11 that we put in on the park last night, with a couple of up-and-coming promising West Australians as well. So there's plenty of experience in this group, and I'm certain that that experience will help in terms of us being able to turn this around.
And has it got to the stage where it's already make and break for this next game?
No, I don't think so. I think 4 games into a 14-game season, if we were to win our next 10, we'd be top 2. So there's a lot of cricket still to be played. We obviously need to be playing better than what we are at the moment, but there's still a long way to go in this tournament.
Cool. Thanks, Pete.
Thanks, Chatters. Geordie, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, mate, can you hear us?
Yep.
How do you sort of bounce back from a batting performance like that? Do you back the same top 7 in, or are you likely to make quite a few changes? You obviously made a tough call with Cam Bancroft, who made 34 not out the previous game. You've got guys like Sam Whiteman, who's been good form in the red ball stuff, and Curtis Patterson as well. Are you expecting a few changes before the next game?
Oh, we made changes in every game so far, be it Jason Berendorf going home for the birth of a child, or obviously our 2 Englishmen coming in. So we haven't put the same team on the park 2 games in a row yet. I'd like to be able to do that at some stage, but also we've got to be performing. So we've got some really good players who are on the sidelines at the moment. We felt that was our best combination last night, albeit it wasn't the performance that we were hoping for.
And the opening combination, was that a last minute call to chuck Josh Inglis up there with Jason Roy? I thought the initial plan was going to be Roy and Livingston, but I guess you've got quite a few openers up there anyway.
I probably didn't give you all the cards up the sleeve at the beginning of the season. No, the intention was always for Josh to stay at the top. He had a terrific tournament last year. Hasn't quite found his rhythm so far this year. There were some better signs last night. We just needed him to do it for a lot longer than what he has done so far. So, look, we wanted to back Josh in. Like I said, he's a good young West Australian, and we want to keep trying to give him that opportunity.
And Chris Matthews in February said that questions would be asked if you didn't make finals this season. Do you feel like there are more results like this, there'll be increased scrutiny on your position and maybe the position of a few senior guys in the lineup?
Again, as I said before, there's always pressure in this level of sport, and particularly in T20 cricket. It's a high pressure environment. So our performances haven't been up to scratch for the last period, and we haven't started this tournament well. So we have equally as high expectations as you guys do, as our fans do, and we're certainly working behind the scenes to try and rectify that. So we'll continue day in, day out to make sure we're doing the work and have faith in this group that we can turn things around.
Thanks, Adam.
Thanks, Geordie. Mark, do you want to jump in and ask a question?
Yeah, just quickly, Voges, just on the back of that, I mean, social media is what social media is, but the upside is that fans care about this team and expect success. The Big Bash maybe 5 or 6 years ago was you keep an eye on it, but there is expectation given the list you've got. So I guess that is taken on board because you want to come back to Perth with something to play for, I guess.
Yeah, that's right, Mark. Look, we're as disappointed as everyone. Like I said, there is high expectation on this group, and that's fair enough. And we need to be playing better cricket than what we are at the moment. So we'll continue to do that. We'll continue to make sure that we're doing the work to turn these things around. We're really looking forward to getting home and playing in front of our home fans, and we're certainly hoping to bring a better style of cricket than what we've shown so far in the tournament. So we get another opportunity in a couple of days' time. The games are going to come thick and fast now, which I actually see as an opportunity for us to gel as a group and make sure we're starting to play some better cricket.
One thing hasn't changed, a couple of umpiring howlers again last night. I know we've talked DRS, etc., but the frustration levels for the players and the teams involved still must be up there.
Yeah, it is. And it's a discussion that we have with match referees after most games, unfortunately. Look, we've spoken about DRS. The umpires are humans, much like the players. They make mistakes. All we really want is for the right decision to get made. And we saw that again last night, that there was a couple of mistakes that were costly for both sides. So we'll continue to have the DRS debate. Hopefully we can get that in and the right decisions can get made.
Thanks, Adam.
Cheers.
Thanks, Mark. Garrett, do you want to ask a question?
Sorry, Adam. Can you hear me there okay?
Yep.
Yeah, sorry. I was going to ask about the DRS as well, which you kind of addressed. It's obviously not going to come in this season, but do you think perhaps from 2021, the Cricket Australia will just have to bite the bullet and make that decision?
I certainly hope so. And I think we'll continue to call for it. It makes a better spectacle when we get the decisions right out on the field, reduces the angst and pressure. There's enough pressure on everyone out there. If we've got the technology available to make things a little bit easier for the umpires and to get the decisions right, then it's an investment worth making.
Just to try to get some positive out of last night, I thought your bowlers responded very well after the first 5 overs to restrict Adelaide, but there was that cameo from Rashid Khan. What do you look to do differently against perhaps specifically him on Thursday? Because he's such an unpredictable batter.
He is. We had a pretty strong LB shout against him as well early, but I don't think we actually got it right in the power play. I thought our plans, we didn't execute our plans to Salt in particular. But having said that, I thought we dragged things back nicely through the middle. I think the biggest positive to come out of the game was Mitch Marsh's return to the bowling crease. 4 overs. I think he went for 13 runs, took a couple of wickets, and that was a really good sign for us. Rashid got away from us at the end. The power surge is always a tricky one for our bowlers. We need to keep working at that. But all in all, we thought 165 was par at best, and we had the lineup to be able to chase that down. So, Mitch's return to the crease, I thought we certainly had a focus on our fielding after our last few games, and that was certainly much improved as well. So there are a couple of small takeaways we can take from this game, and hopefully take them into the next one on New Year's Eve as well.
No worries. Thank you.
Thanks, Garrett. Ash from Channel 10, do you want to close us out?
Yeah, thanks. Hi, Adam. I was just wondering, from your approach at a time where there is that frustration and probably a difficult start to the season, as an experienced coach, and you do have experienced batters as well, how do you work with them in order to get them into that frame of mind where, they are having success sort of on the pitch, and just your personal approach?
Yeah, and every batter's individual. We certainly want to try and take the focus away from them as much as possible and put it on what the team needs. And that'll be the discussions around today. We still want the players to bring their strengths. They're in our side, they're in our squad for reasons. They're good players. And we need them to keep remembering that, but we also need them to make good decisions out in the middle based on those strengths and based on what's happening in front of them in the match. So, again, I try and keep things as consistent as possible in terms of our review. You take the emotion out of it and you just try and make sure that the players are really clear with their plans and how they want to go about it, but how we want to go about it as a batting unit as well. And clearly we didn't get that right the other night. There's things that we need to address and fix up, and that process has already begun. We'll continue that this afternoon, and then we'll hit the training track tomorrow.